U.S. Congressman Scott Perry has accused the United States Agency for International Development (USAID) of funding terrorist organizations, including Boko Haram. Perry, a Republican representative from Pennsylvania, made the claim during a hearing of the subcommittee on delivering on government efficiency on Thursday. The session focused on alleged waste and fraud in the use of taxpayer funds. Perry alleged that USAID's funding, including an annual $697 million allocation, has been used to support various extremist groups such as ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Boko Haram. He cited specific examples, including USAID's reported $136 million investment in 120 schools in Pakistan, claiming that there was no evidence these schools had been built. He further criticized other programs, including ones aimed at supporting women in Afghanistan, claiming that they were ineffective and were potentially fueling terrorism. President Donald Trump has previously called for the closure of USAID, accusing the agency of corruption, a stance echoed by his ally, billionaire Elon Musk. Musk has criticized USAID for alleged rogue activities, including accusations of funding bioweapons research, and has pledged to dismantle it.
Wondering who's in charge of Afghanistan getting the money? And that money I just mentioned, the $697 million, is on top of, and is in addition to, the weekly to every 10-day shipments in cash of $40 to $80 million. Afghanistan is ruled by folks named Seyudin Haqqani. The Haqqani network mean anything to anybody in the room? How about Abdullah bin Laden? Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel, entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe, that this money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And it's not just Afghanistan. And strayed from its mission, lost its direction. Even the Clinton administration tried unsuccessfully to reform it. And we spend, I don't know, somewhere between $40 and $50 billion annually on this organization. And with the things that you hear, well, many of us, probably most of us in the room, agree with projecting America's power for the good of all the world around the globe. Quite honestly, if our enemies were asked to design a foreign aid program that would actively undermine the United States of America at maximum cost to the taxpayer, they would be hard-pressed to create a scheme more effective than USAID. That's shocking to say, but I just, it's, look, let's just go to a couple things here. We left Afghanistan, and I'll characterize it as left in August of 2021. August of 2021. So the Taliban's in charge. Taliban threatens the lives of the NGO personnel distributing USAID. They claim credit for USAID distribution. They interfere with the distribution of USAID aid. They tax the beneficiary of the aid. They tax the delivery service. They steal the food commodities. They divert the funds. They extort citizens for protection for USAID aid. They create sham procurement schemes, and they threaten the lives of those who oppose those schemes. Now, that all occurred before August of 2021, when we were there. Now, you know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You could just read the the Taliban is classified, and if you don't know, the Taliban's in charge of Afghanistan. They're classified as a specially designated global terrorist organization by OFAC. So post-2021, so this is last year, 2024, we spent $697 million of the taxpayers' dollars in Afghanistan, including $534,719,000 in change from USAID in Afghanistan. I don't know what we think we're going to change in Afghanistan. We lost 22,000, lost or wounded 22,500 Americans in Afghanistan over the course of our term there in the war, spending over $2 trillion.
Boko Haram is a militant group that has been active in Nigeria since 2002. Initially focused on opposing Western-style education and governance, the group has since evolved into a violent insurgency responsible for thousands of deaths and displacements. Boko Haram has conducted numerous attacks, including bombings, kidnappings, and raids, particularly in Nigeria's northeastern region. It gained international notoriety in 2014 when it kidnapped over 200 schoolgirls in Chibok, a tragic incident that garnered global attention. The group is known for its strict interpretation of Islamic law and has pledged allegiance to ISIS, further escalating its terrorist activities in the country. Do you think Congressman Perry's allegations about USAID funding terrorist organizations like Boko Haram and ISIS are credible, or could they be part of a larger political agenda? What do you think? Please comment in the comment section below.